What's going on, card collectors? It's Ken with Ken's Cardboard, and today's video is going to be a little bit about the history of Dodger Stadium, some cards that I have of Dodgers from that period in the LA, and I've been reading a book. So I just finished this book actually. This is called Stealing Home by Eric Nusbaum, and it's a book about the history of the area where Dodger Stadium was built, better known as Chavez Ravine. Chavez Ravine was basically a road that kind of went up through there, one of the several roads, along with Elysian Parkway and some other roads. But basically this book is about the people that were living there at the time. As you can see in the photo down here, some of the roads that were there and people that were playing. There's some photos. The roads weren't that well paved, but the houses were built, back in the 30s. By most of them were Mexican families from, down south, who were legal citizens, but they built their lives working in a former brickyard that was here and some other things that been up there. There's a police academy that was built up there, but basically this book is about those people, the little villages of Palo Verde, La Loma, and Bishop, which never really existed as official names, but kind of a neighborhood. The politics that went behind that, and eventually the Dodgers getting in the city of Los Angeles getting a stadium built up on time. So I definitely recommend this book. Shout out to my public library, the Longmont Public Library. It's always good to find books from the library. I'll talk a little bit about that card in a minute, but Dodger Stadium the Dodgers moved to Los Angeles in 1958 was their first season, and Walter O'Malley was the owner of the Dodgers at that time, and he was being wooed by Los Angeles to come there. You have lots of fans that would support a team, and New York had three teams with the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Giants, and their Ebbets Field was in disrepair, and they couldn't find land to build a new stadium there. And so Walter O'Malley had this dream. He had this architect that he worked with. He had a dream stadium. He wanted to build the latest and greatest stadium, and so the city of Los Angeles wooed him to come to town. So just to show up a few cards that I have from that period. So here's a Duke Snider card that I picked up. It's got a crease in it, but I didn't have a card from this year, from 1958. So 58 was the first season the Dodgers were in LA, but obviously this card's from 58, so it was from a 57 season. So it's got an airbrush hat with the LA logo on it of Duke Snider. But this card's severely creased. I think I only paid less than $5 for this. Here's an actual hat of Johnny Podres in 59. Got the real LA Dodgers hat. At that time they played at the Coliseum, LA Coliseum. So Walter O'Malley worked with his architect to come up with the configuration at LA Coliseum. Here we got another Duke Snider. This is 1960. I think I picked this up at the National last year. There's a 64 Koufax. Got this at a local card shop. Actually, no, I got a card show in Colorado Springs. This is the one I got at the local card shop. This is a 64 Drysdale. Clean card. I went to check to see if that card shop still was there, and it's no longer in business. I think someone bought out all of his cards. He had tons of vintage. Here's a 65 Dodgers catcher, Jeff Torborg. There's a 68 Drysdale. The Dodgers had some great teams in the 50s, but they could never win except for the one championship they won in 55. In the 60s, they didn't have great hitters, but they had some great pitching with Drysdale and Koufax, and they won a couple more World Series in the 60s. There's Ted Sizemore, Rookie Cup card from 1970. Here's another 70s rookies, Bob Stinson and Raymond Richard Lamb, Ray Lamb, 1970. That was the year I was born. Here's a 74 Don Sutton, spring training, looks like. There's a 74 Tommy John. Here's a 75 Andy Messersmith, and there's a story behind this guy. Maybe another time we'll talk about that, but the All-Star card from 75. Charlie Huff, spring training, 76 card. Here's a Bill Russell, held down shortstop for a long time for the Dodgers. Here's one of my favorite players of the Dodgers I collect now, Steve Garvey. Picked this up at the National. 71, that's his rookie card. Boom, Steve Garvey rookie. 73. 74, I like this card. Everything in the background's blurry, but you got Garvey probably just launching a ball. Here's 76. 77 sticker. Cloth sticker. I think I got these got those at the National last year. Here's a 79. Got this at a card shop in Sioux Falls. I like that design. I like the pink. And here's a 1981. So in 1962 was the first season of Dodger Stadium at Chavez Ravine, after they played at the Coliseum for a few years in 58, 59, 60, 61. But Willie Davis was the first player to step on the field at Dodger Stadium, and he played center field. And this is just an interesting card. Looks like he's getting thrown at, or he's trying to duck out of the way after the Phillies catcher's throwing down to first base or something. I don't know. This is an interesting card. I purchased this card because of the book. Willie Davis has had a rough career. Great player, I mean, a really good player, not Hall of Fame worthy, but he struggled with a few things in his life, and it talks a little bit about in the book. But this is his last year as a Dodger, 1972. This is the 73 card, but his last season as a Dodger was 1972. You can see here his stats there, 60 to 72. But 62 was the first season at Dodger Stadium. I really like the 73 card design. This year's Topps Heritage 2022 is based on that. But I was disappointed in this card that they didn't mention anything that had a crease in it right here on the top left. It's hard to see in the camera, but you can kind of see it there. Oh, there you can see the crease. The corners aren't too bad, but in the center is pretty good. These cards are really off center, but go check out this book by Eric Nusbaum. If you're a Dodgers fan, shout out to Caesar Pepino Man. I think you really like this book, Caesar. Some of you may know he actually does some of the groundskeeping for Dodger Stadium. So check it out. Check out the book. It's good to read books. I'm reading a new book now called The Boys of Summer, which is also about the Dodgers. So and also finished up In the Glory of Their Times recently as well. Always good to read about baseball history. Take care, everybody, and have a great evening. Go Rockies.